Okay, people, today let's take a quick look at the 4 Horsemen Mythic Legions, Legacies of Mythoss, Urzokk, and Otho. If you haven't heard it 500 times before, I am new to Mythic Legions. Well, new being a relative term, I guess. It was last year that I kind of fell into the universe that they have created. Now, I'm not going back and catching up on a lot of things I missed in the past. When something catches my eye, I want it, which I guess is how that works, right? These are version 2s or updates of characters from early in the Mythic Legions line. So it's a good time to jump in, to come back around if you've been out for a while, either or. These 2 were on sale as in-stock items recently, but if you're interested now, they are up for pre-order for early 2026 shipping. So you haven't missed anything. What's up for pre-order now is exactly what shipped to people who got into the early sale. If you're interested, link is in the description. But looking at the packages here, it's very Mythic Legions. There's windows showing the figures and some of the accessories you can get. I'm sure there's some stuff behind the graphic that is very Mythic Legions, Legacies of Mythoss. Choose your character, Urzokk and Otho. Holy moly, I hope I'm saying those right, because that would sound dumb to people who know better. Some very nice promotional images on the side by Trevor Williams, and then we get logos again. Legacies on the back, some kick-ass artwork for both characters, and then the bios, which I'm not going to get into. If you want to, you can pause, read Urzokk's, and then Otho is over here. And I'm going to kind of ramble slightly just to give you time to look if you want to. Down at the bottom is all the credits. On the other side, I'm guessing this is some kind of house or the factions they belong to. I'm sure there's a story behind it. On the top, 4 Horsemen logos. On bottom, the Legalese, the barcodes, the warning, choking hazard. Do not put Mythic Legions parts in your mouth because they're usually sharp. Anyway, let's get to Urzokk first, just because. And the thing that always catches me off guard with a Mythic Legions figure is just how intricate everything is. I mean, I'm sure there's some simpler characters with less armor and sculpted details and paint apps, but most of the ones I've gotten have been crazy with the line work and the little paint hits and just so much to look at. Y'all know I am a huge fan of buttons and buckles being painted, and I can't even point out everything here. I mean, look at this. It's a tiny little itty bitty buckle on the wrist, and that even has a little hit of silver here and here. Whatever this bronzy piece on the hip is with the silver going around and the patina, the wear and tear, each of these tiny rivets going up the armor. Brown strap around the top of the boots with damn, I love it. Underneath this belt, silver dot 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 dot, and it's even around on the back. These straps hanging down, holding on those hip guards. Just little brown, little silver on top of the dark gray armor. That seems to have a wash to it too, or a dry brush of a lighter gray. It just sets off all the sculpt with the pits and the worn metal look. Seriously, it's hard to point out all the things going on here. Well, mostly because of all the points. This is one wicked, sinister armor. Look at the boots and the layers. In fact, all the armor. Just the... Could you imagine putting this on and waltzing out into battle? You would have to be a tough sumbitch. And that's exactly what this head sculpt conveys. From what I've gathered, this is a new sculpt, even though there's been orc sculpts for most of the life of the line, I think. With these teeth jutting out more forward, and the war paint, and just the shade of green. I love the color pop on top of this dark, dank armor. Well, okay, there is this skull in the middle, giving it an organic feel to all these points and prods, but I didn't even notice the battle axe motif behind it, and then the plate, and the leather strap, and, oh, no, fur sticking out here, and at the gauntlets, along with the metal on the back. So, oh, and mail here at the elbows, and this woven look to the belt. There's so many textures going on. There's organic, there's metal. I nearly said too much going on, but can there be too much going on when it still functions as an action figure? For some reason, the head, if I was just looking at it like this, makes me think that it has a bigger muscular body underneath. And this is not disappointing. The disappointing is far from my mind at the moment. But I don't know. For some reason, I expected it to be slightly larger. There is nothing wrong with this. I love what I'm holding at the moment, but just my own expectations. Again, not having a deep dive knowledge of the Mythic Legion's lore. That's just my own dumbass going, usually when I see something like this, it's this. But I can't overlay that onto this toy line as a whole. Holy shit. Is that a different color up under there? Well, okay, maybe not a different color, but this band right here, that coppery color, it may match this. It just looks a bit shinier, but it caught me off guard because there's this goldish color underneath. What I'm saying is there is a lot of colors at play here, even though you get far back from it and you're like, oh, okay, it's just a guy in armor. Hell no. It's an orc in badass armor. I don't know what's new and I don't know what's old. I just know that some parts match this knight that I have. And it's mostly around the elbows look the same. And then I do believe the thighs underneath. But again, I only have a few figures. So I've heard there's some new stuff, there's some reused stuff, but that's the basis for Mythic Legions in the first place. So there's nothing wrong with that. I will say my other complaint is this strap right here, this overlay piece. This belt and this strap coming up over the shoulder is one overlay piece. So it kind of floats. These sit on the shoulder pretty natural. Well, okay, these. This one with this padding sits on the shoulder pretty natural, and then this one comes down and hangs. This one likes to stay popped up, like it's formed into this position. And I tried heating it, and it laid down for a second, but it slowly moved back to here. So it's not a big deal, especially when we get to some of the other parts that go onto this figure to add even more. This is crazy. But yeah, I just thought I'd point it out. Grabbing Otho out of the package, it's more of the same. I'm just gonna pour compliments all over it, except this time around, there's a heroic brightness to everything. The armor's more silvery, shimmery with the gold accents, and the mail underneath looks the same under here. In fact, is that the same legs? Yes, also some reuse here. But again, it changes it up because of the new parts and pieces, or at least the different parts and pieces, especially this soft goods blue and gold tunic thing. That adds a lot and changes things up. There is wire to the bottom of that so you can get it all, okay, come here. You can get it flared out dramatically. And yeah, okay, this piece hanging down in the middle behind this armor part is the same. It's got some wires to it. But once again, these rings hanging down and the little hits of paint in places. I just love it. Even places that you don't see, like under here. Ba-bam, ba-bam. This collar piece with the gold inlay, even on back. Some toy companies would go, well, it's on the back, who cares? Including me when I customize. Nobody's ever going to see the back, most of the time. Sometimes I do it. But Four Horsemen went ahead and gold studs and the silver buttons and the wash to the leather straps. Same thing on the back of the arms, that gold trim coming all the way around. And yeah, I almost feel like it's spoiling me because here, again, this hangs down and covers up the upper legs, but that didn't stop them from doing these straps with the buckles and the mail on the back of the knee, and then the buckles and straps on the back of the shin guards too, whatever those are called. Intricate in here, and it's kind of shinier because it's smoother. There's not dings and dents and pits to it. There are more head options, and we'll get to that in accessories, but this is the head that came on it in the package, and looking at the promotional images, this is the one I was most interested in anyway, so perfect. It works out for me. This lion sculpt is downright amazing, and once again, I can't help pointing them out. These gold buttons on the side. The bottom of the helmet coming out in front with the jawbone, and then Otho's face poking through. And look at this. I love the shape. It's almost like a lion's mane with Otho's hair sticking out the back. And that works into the helmet itself. It works so well. It goes with the rest of the armor. And again, accessories will add to that. And we'll see the options here. But this is the one I was looking forward to the most. And I'm glad to see that it is downright amazing. I do notice that these straps like to work their way up over this collar piece and kind of get jammed up under the helmet. So I keep pulling. In fact, they came out of the package like that, and I've kind of straightened them out and tried to pull them out here as far as possible. Keep the movement going, and it looks more natural with the straps going all the way across. I may have to take those off to put the shoulder pauldrons on, though, because it's covering up the hole. So, oh, and I just noticed, is that weapon storage? Is that also the gold paint coming all the way around on the back of the collar? Come on now. Everything is just so well done. You know, soft goods lays naturally. The armor looks great. It's not the most natural of natural stances, but it's also clad in metal. You wouldn't be able to stand straight up and down, but we can get dang close. Best of all, there's some yin and yang action going on. You have the bright hero, and then you have the dark villain, and they just go together so well. And that kind of makes me glad that Urzokk isn't huge, because they can go toe-to-toe. It's not the usual, you know, you have to defeat the large villain. It's two guys, just eternal battle between good and evil. I did just notice that the ball joint is really exposed on the back of the head here, but that segues beautifully into articulation. There is obviously a ball joint up at the top with a hinge in the neck. You can make them look up on that ball joint really high, but it seems awkward as hell for photos. So it's better to take that hinge, kick it back, and just as up. Can bury the chin and then some tilt action. Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates around. There is some stuff that kind of drags, and then a hinge goes up to there. This piece of armor is rubbery, gets up and out of the way of the hinge at the elbow, goes up slightly past 90, and then swivels in and out. There's a swivel at the gauntlet, and then a swivel at the wrist with a hinge that goes up and down on a weapon-wielding hand. This is also soft material, so the ball joint at the waist does crunch this far, and then arcs back, some tilt, rotation. This also gets up and out of the way of the swivel that allows the leg to come up to here, and then back, and a hinge goes to there. Swivel at the thigh hidden up under there. Hinge at the knee goes up to almost 90. Then there is a swivel below that, and then one at the top of the boot, and then one at the ankle joint. At one point, I would have went, well, why have it rotate down here? It doesn't do anything. That's for swappability, to put new parts in, or take these parts, put them somewhere else. Lots of interchangeable parts. Hinge at the ankle goes back, gets caught right here just because of the design. Goes forward, front-facing pin for rocker. It's essentially the same articulation scheme for Otho. It's just more hindered in places and more free in others because of the different design elements. There is a ball joint at the top of the neck with a hinge underneath, but the helmet and the hair sticks out a bit, so it doesn't go up as much and not as down as much. A lot more tilt though, and then side to side, all the way around if you want. Pin out to the shoulder, rotates around, hinge up to there, hinge at the elbow, goes up past 90 with a swivel back and forth. Gauntlet, wrist, hinge in and out because this is just a hand. Not as much stuff around the waist, so crunches that far and arc back, tilt, rotation. Also not as much stuff in front of the legs, so can kick up to here, which is insane for an armored guy. Back, out, all the way. Soft goods, moves. Can also see the thigh swivel this time around. Single hinge at the knee goes up past 90. Then there's a swivel right below that. There's no cut till down here. Foot rotates, hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Urzokk comes with one set of hands, 2 grips, but with the weapon options and everything, I'm going to have them armored up and ready for battle most of the time. He does come with alternate heads. Like I showed, the one in the package has the teeth gritting. Then there is a screaming head, which looks more savage. But if I want him planning a battle or just hanging around the campsite, there's also the neutral face. Well, as neutral as an orc head can get. And that is easy enough to pop off and swap out, pop the other one on, ready to go. Well, I should have left that off because the first armor piece we're going to look at is this collar piece. And it goes along beautifully with the rest of the armor with that just texture to it, the points sticking up. It is a soft material, so you're not going to poke your eye out. Then there's this tab on the back that plugs into the back of the neck. Or, well, I haven't tried this yet. Let's see how easy this is. Actually, let's take the neck off, and that should be easier to plug, because I noticed the peg looked bigger than the slot. If you can't bring the peg to the slot, you got to bring the slot to the peg, right? Why does that sound dirty? Putting the peg back in locks that into place. Nifty, I like it. And then get this back on here. And again, because this is soft, you're not tearing yourself up putting the head back on underneath or behind or inside, I guess. Then there are these two shoulder pauldrons. Again, it just fits the overall design. Will we be able to go around these, or do I need to take this piece off? If I take this and put this here below the buckles, okay, that pulls this strap down. Okay, I'm learning as I go. From past experience, I know that the shoulder pads are very tight to get in, and they suggest heating, but let's see if we can just force them on. Some behind the camera strength and wiggling. Behind the camera wiggling. Again, that sounds dirty. I keep fighting the urge to take this strap off, but if we can push that, okay, yeah. How about we push that down, put that in there, and it seems to want to fit everything now. It's just a lot going on, but it does fill him out a lot. Good God, just plus there's some weapon storage here, and there's 3 items to hold. There is this shield with this skull banner on the front. Then we take the grip and put it onto here. And I like that that's removable, or at least turnable. This battle axe completely fits the character. And then guess what? The sword fits the style too. There's no denying. If I threw all my Mythic Legions into a tub, it would be like, oh, his weapons are here and here, right there. And I was gonna say he has to hold the shield because there's no storage for that, but if we turn this peg the right direction, yeah, you can put that on the back. There's so many options. The sword, I would probably go this way with it. The axe, oh, well, okay. I'm glad it came apart on its own. For a split second, I thought, well, I broke it. But no, it's meant to do that. So I can do this and put this through there and then put this here. Have him holding the sword. Yeah. Good grief, that is amazing looking. Out of the package, Otho comes with 2 gesturing hands. So, unlike Urzokk, he has alternate hands. There's 2 grips for weapon wielding, and then 2, well, grips for weapon wielding. Is this different sizes or something? Did I mix them up? Oh, no, okay. So you have the up and down weapon wielding hand for swords and such, and then you have a side-to-side weapon wielding hand for shields, perhaps, maybe. We talked about the badass lion helm. You can pop that off. Then there is this helmeted head, and nifty thing here, you can pull this forehead piece out and then do the same on the lion head to give you access to the faceplate. Plug that back on, and here you can either use it as a different look for Otho or a different knight altogether. Then there is an unmasked Otho head, just with the badass beard and the hair coming back, and a plug. You do swap this out of the back of the helmet and put it over here. I love it. Just swappable parts back and forth. I have 2 swords, one larger, heavier, broader, and that one has a more intricate scabbard to it with the straps and kind of the jewels. But of course, those come out, and fairly standard blades. Your hero swords. But the bigger one, again, is more intricate on the hilt too. Oh, I didn't even notice the lion's head. That's awesome. There is either 2 straps here on the hip, and I'm gonna guess that the bigger one goes like this. Not bad, but does look a little bit. How about this on the back? I like like that a bit better. As I said, the swords were a little basic. This axe is intricate. I mean, just look at the head itself with the blues and the gold and the silvers and the points, the shape. Just overall, this feels regal. I mean, there's gold studs around. This one also comes apart. And then after Urzokk, I made sure. But again, can store on the back. Shield is amazing looking. I love the contrast between the intricate detail to the lion and the mane, and then the symmetry of these studs going around the outside, but then the smoothness of the silver. It just works so well. But this threw me for a loop for a half a second until I realized, oh, you can take that off and put that there. I guess in case you want to use this as another knight, someone other than Otho. Well, dang, I forgot about the shoulder pads after putting all this on, and I realized those holes, that strap, well, I guess I can try to get around it. Okay, the shoulder pads aren't as bulky, big as I thought they were going to be, and so the straps do go around here, but do ride up on the collar like I was talking about a minute ago. Without the helmet, it's not a problem, so no, you really stay like this. Size-wise, both figures stand at about 6 and 11/16, but Otho is slightly taller, maybe a 16th because of the hair sculpt on top, which is your standard Mythic Legion scale, no matter how big or small they may be. Little large for your 1/12 scale retail lines like Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series, but then a little small for your 7-inch retail lines like NECA Dungeons & Dragons or McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. They're 4 Horsemen sized. There's no other way to put it. So at the end of the day, whether you're a hardcore Mythic Legions fan or just a cherry picker, I feel like this is a good set for you to either jump into or add to your overall collection. They both kind of embody my mental image or my idea of Mythic Legions as a whole. You have your heroes, you have your villains, and they are very set in their ways. You can look at each one and go, well, okay, that's the hero, and that's the villain. Now, if you're into super articulated, ultra posable action figures, these may not be for you because they're not going to get into crazy stances. One, because of the articulation scheme, which is just how Mythic Legions is, although they have been moving to improve the range in the elbows and the knees. But I feel like with the designs of the armor and the chunkiness and the clunkiness, they move just fine. For me, it's the artistry. I love my retail lines where it's just superheroes in paint apps, but this takes it a step further with the detail sculpting, and oh, I can't say enough about the paints. There's just so much of it that it completely justifies the price point. And that's not even touching on the aspect that I barely get into, the swappability. Being able to take older figures, newer figures, other figures, take the arms, legs, bodies, torsos, overlays, just and do whatever the hell you want. In a lot of ways, I feel like Mythic Legions and 4 Horsemen in general, I guess, is out on a plateau of their own. Just doing their own thing and doing it beautifully. That's pretty much the only way to put it. Bye!